People think life-changing decisions happen in big moments. For me, it happened over a small chocolate cake. I turned 78 years old on a quiet Sunday afternoon. No balloons, no loud laughter, no surprise party. Just family sitting around my living room, pretending everything was fine. I had woken up early that morning and gone to the bakery myself. The young cashier asked if it was for a party. I smiled and said, "No, it's just for me." I chose the same chocolate cake my wife used to bake every year. She passed away 9 years ago, but that flavor still made me feel like she was standing beside me. That cake wasn't dessert. It was memory. It was love. It was loss. When everyone arrived, I placed the cake on the table and slowly sat down. My hand shook slightly as I reached for candles. That's when my grandson, Daniel, walked in. He was 21, tall, confident, always glued to his phone. He looked at the cake, frowned, and laughed. "Wow," he said. "This is it? That's your birthday cake." I smiled politely. "It's my favorite." He shook his head. "Come on, Grandpa. Nobody eats this old-fashioned stuff anymore." The room went quiet. Before I could say a word, Daniel picked up the cake box. At first, I thought he was joking. I watched in disbelief as he walked into the kitchen, opened the trash can, and dropped the cake inside. Box, cake, candles, all of it. Then he clapped his hands and said, "There, problem solved." My heart sank. No one moved. My daughter stared at the floor. My son cleared his throat, but said nothing. I felt something crack inside me, not anger, but realization. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I simply said, that cake wasn't for eating. It was for remembering someone who loved his family. Daniel smirked, pulled out his phone, and walked away like nothing had happened. That night, I sat alone in my bedroom staring at the ceiling. I didn't cry over the cake. I cried over the years. Years of excuses. Years of ignoring disrespect. Years of confusing love with indulgence. I remembered buying Daniel his first gaming console, paying for private school, covering his college tuition, buying him a car so he wouldn't struggle. I gave him everything, except boundaries. And now, at 78, I realized I had helped raise someone who felt entitled to disrespect me in my own home. The next morning, I made a decision, not an emotional one, a clear one. I called my lawyer. We had written my will years ago. Daniel was the primary beneficiary. I told my lawyer I wanted to make changes, complete changes. I removed Daniel's name entirely. Instead, I redirected his share to charity that supports widows and abandoned children, people who understand what it means to lose someone and still remain grateful. When the paperwork was done, I felt something unexpected. Peace. Weeks later, Daniel found out. He stormed into my house, red-faced and shaking. "You took me out of your will," he shouted. "Over a stupid cake?" I looked at him calmly. That cake was never the issue. He laughed bitterly. "You're really choosing a dessert over your own grandson?" I stood up slowly and said, "No, I'm choosing respect over entitlement." He went silent. I continued, "I loved you enough to give you everything, but I failed to teach you gratitude, and I won't reward disrespect with inheritance." He walked out, slamming the door behind him. I sat back down. My hands were steady. Do I miss my grandson? Yes. Do I miss that cake? More than you'd think. But I don't regret my decision, because money can be given, houses can be inherited, but character is earned. And sometimes the greatest lesson comes too late, but still needs to be taught.